Are you prepared? Have you ever asked yourself that when it comes to dangerous disaster or hazard, how sure are you that you already know and you know enough to prevent the danger that may occur? And what are the disasters that we may encounter in our community? But before that, let me introduce myself to all of you. Hi, my name is Angel Mayar Lopez, and I will be discussing on how to mitigate and address the risks that caused by hazard or natural disaster in our community. And what are these hazards? Geological hazard, hydrometeorological hazard, marine and coastal processes hazard that can be categorized into natural and anthropogenic weather-related hazard such as typhoon and drought, as well as geophysical hazard like earthquake, volcanic eruptions, or natural hazard. A natural hazard is defined as natural processes or event that is potentially damaging in that it may result in loss of life or injury, loss of property, socioeconomic destruction, or environment degradation. Cavite is a hazard-prone province. The Cavite Provincial Disaster Risk Reductions and Management Plan, Cavite Contingency Plan, and the Provincial Physical Development and Framework Plan revealed that province of Cavite is vulnerable to hydrometeorological hazard such as flood, rainfall-induced landslide, and storm surge, and geological hazards such as ground shaking, liquefaction, tsunamis, ground eruption, and earthquake-induced landslide, mainly due to its geographical location. In compliance to Republic Act 10121 Disaster Risk Reductions Act of 2010, the two main types of hazard were considered in DRA report that may hamper the development of province if not monitored and attended to. Cavite as part of Luzon, which is significantly more at risk to typhoon than more to southern areas in the country. Strongly affected by monsoon or rain bearing, which blow from southwest from approximately May to October and from northeast November to February. From June to December, typhoon is often strike the Philippines. Most of them are storm come from southeast, which their frequency generally increasing from south to north. Based on data culled from the Climatology and Agrometeorology divisions of Pag-asa, DOST, and a total of 22 tropical cyclone cross or directly hit the province of Cavite from 1948 to 2009. The second major problem is the storm surge, produced by typhoon, where it is I come from onshore that come from the open sea. The low barometric pressure caused by these typhoons lead to development of dome of water, several meter high and several kilometer long. Cavite, being bounded by China Sea on the west and having an extremely low ground level, elevations of 0 meter to 2 meter at lowest lowland, is exposed to storm surge. Now that we already know this hazard, how can we mitigate, adapt, and prevent it? Geological hazard. Cavite Province reorganized the Provincial Disaster Risk Reductions and Management Council or PDRRMC by virtue of Executive Order Number 2 S 2011 to further strengthen the province capacity to build disaster resilient communities, to institutional measures for reducing disaster risk and mitigate the effect of climate change and the hazard that may occur. At home, make sure to stay away from windows, tall furnitures, light fixtures, shattered glass, and heavy objects that may hurt you. If you are outdoors, go to an open area and away from building, trees, street lights, and line. If you are outdoors, go to an open area, away from buildings, trees, street lights, and lines. If you are in vehicle, pull over to a safe place, avoid anything that can collapse. How about in hydrometeorological hazard? Be always updated. Prepare the emergency kit such as flashlight and make sure you have an adequate supplies of non-perishable foods and clean water at home. And follow the community guidelines and build a provincial disaster risk reductions and management plan to help and lessen the effect of these hydrometeorological hazard. Now, in marine and coastal hazard, IMC program activities include the development of long-term strategies and formations, management and awareness raising and mobilizing stakeholders, support development of coastal use zoning plan to address multiple use conflicts, marine protected areas management. Implementations of oil spill contingency plan and rehabilitations of major river system, beach dewatering, constructions of building in a safe distance from the water, ban of mining activities, and maintaining plant cover are some examples of ways to reduce the coastal erosion. What kind of human activities speed up or trigger this hazard? In geological hazard, clear cutting, mining, construction activities, and climate change. In hydrometeorological hazard, mining, dam building, and fracking are among the causes of earthquake. Are often thoughts of our large unpredictable natural force of natures, but that may be changing. The activities that can affect the marine and coastal areas are increased erosions and petrochemical industry or oil and gas storage and refining. Discussing this to inform everyone about this hazard or natural disaster that we may encounter in our community, because I do believe that people really needs to have enough knowledge about this hazard so that we know on how to mitigate, adapt, and prevent it. As I mentioned, it may result loss of life or injury, loss of property, socio-economic destructions, or environmental degradations. We don't know when or where it happens, so it's safer if we're always prepared, because knowing these informations can save a life or our life. That's all. Thank you for listening. I hope you learned from me.